But basically, you see here up here, I see the S&P hitting 5,000 by Q3 of 2024 next year. Today is October 26th, and so that's like a year away, a little bit less than a year away. Anyways, 5,000, maybe even by Q2. And then 10,000 by 2029, which I released a video on why I think it's the roaring 20s, which is why I think it's going to go to 10K. I know that may or may not sound crazy, I'm not sure, but that's just what I think is going to happen. Um, Basically, it kind of goes like this. And like I'm not gonna like go into all the super nitty gritty details, but I'm gonna try to cover enough. 2 minutes, okay. Basically, World War III is inevitable, um, and it's continually pointing to signs that it's going to happen. Um, I don't know, um, early 20, sorry, mid, late 2030s. Okay. Um, and so World War III, which is becoming more inevitable. We got the arms race. We got small wars, legitimate wars between countries, and no longer like proxy fighting another country, but a country fighting another country, which is always a precursor, and it's always happened throughout history in all world wars, of official fighting like that, and a bunch of other stuff. But yeah, we've officially set foot down into an inevitable path of World War III. So if that's inevitable, and this is from the other video, which is like 20 minutes long. So how do I condense it down? There's a lot of stuff like infrastructure of technology, new technology that hasn't shown its utility yet. All of its utility, like AI, a big amount of capital, the wealth gap being so large, the rich are richer, the poor are poorer. Everything is just really, really ripe for roaring 20s. And then, like, our recession that's coming up, or right now, it's just a rolling recession. It's kind of weak and very shallow, which hasn't really hurt the pockets of any of the rich people or people with capital. And they're just waiting upon rate hikes to reverse, probably early next year. And so that's all big old recipe for an economic boom, considering we've been in an economic recession, right? Like maybe not technical recession, but there's boom cycles, boom, recess, and we've been recessing for about almost a year and a half, two. I don't even know where, but we've been recessing, and it's time for the cycle to flip over. And so all that put together, uh, with Trump as president would solidify a roaring 20s situation, which I think is all going to happen. And so basically, inevitable, and Trump is inevitable to win. If we look at why, and I should have made this a long time ago, a few months ago, because I put Trump at like a 97% rate of him winning the election coming up in like a year. Um, but it's at like close to like 99.999%. Like I like it's almost, I can almost guarantee that he's going to become the next president. But anyways, some of the things that I see, basically, and this is like not even with the latest thing, right? Because these factors here are like factors that was existed months ago. But economic economy, right? Like, so consumer prices and all this stuff is the usually the last, right? The last thing in the food chain when you're like trying to dial down inflation. So like when you're trying to knock prices back down, you're trying to damp down the economy. Just like inflation, where consumer goods were the last to really rise up, right? Because like it's all the commodities, fuel, everything else, and then boom, it hits consumer prices last, which gave us the spike in inflation rates. It's the opposite, right? So consumer prices are going to be the last thing affected. So with that said, right now is when everybody's like really feeling it now, even though I believe that we've been in a rolling recession for a little while now. But the economy, let me make sure. Okay, 7 minutes, not too long. The economy is not that great, and I think everybody's complaining, including the blue side. Um, and then there's the before all this Gaza stuff happened, the Ukraine war was basically, we keep pumping money into Ukraine that is not fighting an efficient war. They lost a lot of land. They're trying to get their land back that they never. The biggest way to win a war is to never even get in one using deterrence. And unfortunately, they let Russia build up 250,000 troops over a span of a year on their border and didn't really protect it. And then they lost a lot of land. And now they're trying to fight it back against defensive positions, entrenched it down, and a bunch of minefields before that. And before that, they announced an offensive that they were going to do for like months. um, and that just made Russia fortify their defense positions even more. And then as soon as they launched their offensive, of course, nothing moved, and just money's just continually getting dumped. Missiles, all the ammunition, missiles, all that stuff is just getting depleted. Um, and so if you have a habit or a tendency or behavioral pattern of not being very efficient at like deterrence or even like how you're going to do your offensive and all of that stuff, it's probably going to equate down to everything else that you do. And so I don't think Ukraine's going to be able to get their land back. And I think when Trump becomes president, he's going to basically cut off funding for Ukraine and tell them you're just going to have to sign a peace treaty and accept that you lost this land. Which you know, it's not in the forefront now, but it's when the closer Trump becomes president or to the elections, that's points that he's going to bring up, and I think people are going to agree with that to stop sending as much money and aid into a fight that Ukraine essentially can't win. Um, so we're sending billions there. We're about to send another 67 billion or something to Ukraine. Uh, or with all that said, the people that mainly flip are going to be your suburbs, right? Like your suburban like families. And all those independents or swing states, they're all going to flip. You don't need a lot, but a few are going to flip back red. Um, and it's going to be mainly due to the people that live in the suburbs. And they and people that lean blue, I wouldn't say far left, but people that are blue or far left, no, sorry, people that aren't far left, that lean blue, are essentially going to abstain in this upcoming election because Biden has not performed that well. And I think with this latest Gaza thing, where he's sending a bunch of aid in without demanding as a minimum requirement before the aid is released to allow aid into Gaza first. And I think that's not sitting right with a lot of people. And I think that a lot of people are going to choose to abstain in this upcoming election. And Trump, of course, is going to have his hardcore supporters, and they're going to come out in massive numbers. And without our massive numbers and a bunch of people abstaining, he's going to win big time. Uh, the other thing too, I think like right now it's October, and so all you see right now on the news is a bunch of Trump um jury stuff. Like I can go to CNN, um, and outside of this mass shooting, let's just literally look up Trump trials, just a bunch of trials. We go to Fox News, it's gonna be this kind of maybe the same thing. Trump suspends campaign endorses. Um, federal credit. So basically, like even if you look at both sides, it's mainly dominated because he's in a bunch of like trials right now in court, and I think like the 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 left side uh, is counting Trump out or not realizing that he's going to be the primary GOP candidate, and like it's not even close. And I don't think they realize that yet, how like not even close that Trump is not going to be the primary, the candidate on the ticket on behalf of the Republicans. Um, and so yeah, that's why he wins almost at 100% rate from me. He jumped up to 100% as soon as this Gaza thing happened. Um, and let's see what else we got. Um, Another thing was, sorry guys. Let's see. War movements. Oh, also he is I don't know what the numbers. It was like 40% or something ridiculous. Basically, no matter what happens, he's going to become the primary. Oh, that's what I want to write out like a timeline. So March of 2024, or somewhere around there, March spring. I'm just gonna put spring because I don't know the exact date. Is the GOP primary, right? Voting. And then this is when blue side goes, holy, holy beep, Trump is on the ticket. Because they have no idea yet. And then November 2024, of course, is the elections. So this is the thing about the S&P. And now I'm going into the S&P topic. I don't know if I should break this down into, yeah, maybe I should break this down into like different things. So like 14 seconds. Okay, cool. So I'll just break this down into different videos, I guess. But um, basically, continuation from the previous video, this spring 2024 GOP, just remember this timeline here, right? So right now we're October. It's market is S&P is bad earnings, of course, because it's going to be your first bad earnings, and everybody's going to go, oh, recession worries, and so we're entering a correction. And we may hit 39 or 41, any whatever it is right now it's like 41 something. I would just be buying because it's not, it's just a dip, and like you, what you don't want to do is miss this, because along with this spring 2024 is also rate hikes ending with chance reversal rates. So imagine you learn that Trump is on the primary ticket, which I don't think some of the sides are seeing, and then not only that, but the rate hikes are ending with a chance that it reverses, which is just a recipe for the fucking market is going to go bananas. So this is why I easily see this going to 5K by then, because what's going to happen is, um, unlike unlike last time, unlike last time, uh, people didn't know how the market would perform under Trump, but and now we do. And essentially, I can't pull up the exact things, but like, when he was like during his primary GOP win, the first go around, it was the S&P was near a 2000 level. At the end of his at the end of his presidency, uh, the S&P was, this is with the COVID crash, was like, I don't know, 36, 38. It was something. It was almost close to double, including including that it had crashed COVID. So it almost doubled during his presidency. Now, if we see close to five, basically now we know 100% fact that the market is going to go up, up when he is president. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. He's going to make the market pop. Um, and we know that when he does become president, that the market's going to continue to go up. So now it's not even like a presumption or a prediction of what the market's going to do. We know for a fact what it's going to do, especially when you add in everything else, and we're coming out of a circle of a economic cycle of recess. Now, of course, it's just going to go back to a boom cycle. Rain, sun, rain, sun, rain, sun, and now we know we've had a bunch of rainy days. We know the sun's going to eventually come out here in the next year, and we know the rate hikes are going to stop and or reverse. It's just a recipe for the roaring 20s with 10,000 S&P 2029. Which, if you look at it like 2028, I don't know if it's 2028 or 2029 when he leaves office. I think January 2029 and November 2028 is like the election or something like that. But look how close it is to 2029, right? So like if he drives it up, if it if let's say he's at let's say the S&P, let's say by March 2024, S&P bounces back above 45 or 47, right? Like um you can just basically double that. That's 9,000, right? Like just doubling that. Um, it's going to hit when it approaches that 9,000 high eights to 9,000. It's in illogical exponential top wick producing uh, straight rocket up uh, stage. So 9 to 10 is easy, easy. That's, I don't know, 2028, 2029. I don't know. We'll see. Um, so that's that. And I think what happens then, and this is just like shooting out like another prediction, which may make another video for, but basically what happens is the president elected after Trump's 2024, 2020, sorry, 2025 to 2029 term will uh, will put into uh, will put economic policies into place that will backfire, hence causing catastrophic crash into depression. Part two, aka 1929 to 1930s. So I think I hit most of my points. Did I explain 10K? Yep, we're on 20s, 10K. You can kind of see how my mind is juggling along here. Five, um, rate hikes reverse. So basically, if you're not buying this dip right now, where it's like 41, it may hit 39 here at the bottom of the dip, maybe at the end of this like week, the first time it's been a pretty weak earnings. I'd say across the board, like Ford missed a ton. Let me pull it up for you guys. Like a ton of companies missed. Let's see if they have it in here. Blah, 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 blah. Come on. Mm, Papone. I don't know where the headlines are, but like it came out and um, Chipotle's one of the first. Ford missed. all Google missed. Meta was the only one, but their ad sales outlook was like terrible. Like a bunch of these are like they're not doing good, and a lot of them are missing for the first time, all almost collectively. And so like this whole recession thing is like really kicking into gear, or like recession talk, where rather like the fear of it. And so that's why I don't know how low it's going to go. But 39 is probably where I would probably start buying and not giving a fuck how low it's going to go, because it's going to be a fantastic deal. Just you're going to have to buy this dip. Uh, buy the fucking dip, bitch. All right, so like this, you basically got to do this. Buy the fucking dip. Like you just have to buy it. Like there's because if you if you fuck around and like not buy it, and you let spring come around, like you let spring come around, and all these recipes, like Trump gets the primary, like all this stuff, because it's going to start getting priced in. Like as soon as we come out of this dip here, it's going to start pricing in this stuff, right? And so you have to get in there right here before it starts pricing in, because it's going to go like this. Here's today, right? And then we find the bottom, whatever. Then it's going to start pricing in um, spring, and all these fucking this, and this, right? It's gonna start pricing it in, and then here comes spring, March, and then it just keeps fucking going, and then boom, Trump is the fucking primary, and it's like, oh, and now we're here, right? And like this is going into like summertime, so now summertime, we're just cruising along here, and now it's like 5 fucking thousand, right? 5,000 now, somewhere in here, I don't know where. But then November comes, and like he wins, and like now it's here, and then fucking dribbles like this July, and then fucking as soon as he gets into office, it goes back up. This is why it's very important to enter right here. Like you have to buy the fucking dip. Buy the dip. Um, 25 minutes. Man, that's all I got. I hope that if you're a first time person seeing me or anything in general, you're probably like you're a fucking lunatic. May have some points, but a lot of it I just don't see. Uh, that's usually how it goes. So I'm very I'm used to it, and it's totally fine. But that's usually how it goes. Most people aren't gonna believe me at first, and that is totally fine. Um, but how much time do I got? 25 minutes. Um, I'll just say that it's been both a blessing and curse. Uh, knowing um, knowing the lottery numbers, because when I tell, won't believe me, and I guess the rule is I can't play the numbers. So I can't play I can't win off of it. I think I might make this into another video, because it's like too long. So I'm just gonna make another video. So this is I think I covered it. I think I covered it enough. I'm probably missing some other fundamental stuff that I see, but I think you get the gist of it. So yeah, deuces.